Hi kids! These last 2 weeks we've been learning about the Beatitudes. We've learned that Jesus taught the people these Beatitudes from a mountain, and that beatitude is just a fancy word for special blessing from God. Jesus shares a statement followed by a promise. This week we're going to learn about 2 Beatitudes, so let's get ready to hear the first one now.
Blessed are those who mourn,
Blessed are those who mourn,
for they will be comforted.
for they will be comforted.
The word mourn can sound weird to our ears. It's another tricky word for us to try and understand. It sounds a lot like mourning, but what we're talking about today is mourning, or to cry, to feel sad. Everyone cries and feels sad sometimes. Maybe you can remember the last time you cried. Maybe you fell down and got hurt. Maybe someone said an unkind word to you. Perhaps you saw something terrible happen to a close friend or family member. Or maybe plans changed and you felt really disappointed that something wasn't going to happen anymore. Sometimes our world tells us that crying is a bad thing or that crying makes us weak. And this is not true. Tears and crying are important. Crying shows that we are brave. Crying shows that we are willing to feel the pain and the sadness, our own or someone else's. Did you know that God cries too? In the Bible, we read that Jesus cried multiple times during his time on earth. God's heart is so wide. It holds the pain of everyone hurting throughout the whole world. Jesus promises us that God will comfort us when we cry. One way that God brings comfort to people who are sad is through you. When you offer a helping hand, or loving words, or you sit with someone in their grief, you are bringing God's comfort to that person. Crying together and sharing our pain brings us closer together and closer to God. This week, look for ways to bring God's comfort to others. Some people like to send messages or words of encouragement to their friends who are sad. Maybe you could make a card for someone this week. Find a piece of paper to create your own special design. Or ask your parents if they can print the template from the family email this week. Fold the paper in half and in half again to create a small card. Decorate the card however you want. Then, write your words of comfort inside. Some examples of what you might say are, when you are feeling sad, remember, God hears your prayers. Or, when you are feeling sad, remember, I'll always be here for you. Then, pop it into an envelope to mail it, deliver it, or give it to the person to encourage and comfort them. Let's see what our second beatitude for this week is.
Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth.
When Jesus used the words, "Blessed are the meek," the people who were listening to him would have immediately recognized what he was saying. Their songs of worship, prayers, and psalms all talked about this idea. Meek is another hard word for us. If we were to use the word humble instead, it might help us to better understand. In fact, Psalm 37:11 says, "The humble will have land for their own." That sounds a little bit like, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." And that's because this is one of the verses that the people Jesus was speaking to would have recognized or thought of when Jesus said to them, "Blessed are the meek." Having power was a really important thing in Jesus' time. And in many ways, that has not changed at all today. Our culture tells us that having power is what is really important. But Jesus says that being meek, having a humble and servant's heart, is what actually matters. This is also a really important message for us about caring for the earth. We know that in Genesis, God created all things, that he called them good, and that he blessed them. And then he gave us the responsibility of caring for his creation. Meek and humble people live with an awareness of other people's needs. They remember the whole earth, that what they have and receive belongs to God, and they care for it with that in mind, using what they have with love, respect, and generosity. Okay, kids, I want you to stand up with me now, and you can get your grown-ups involved too, and I want you to repeat after me. So stand up. Okay. I am a child of God, and everyone is a child of God too. Your turn. I am a child of God, and everyone is God's child too. This reminds us of two important truths. The first is that you are special, beloved, unique, and a child of God, worthy of love and respect. And the second truth is that everyone around you is also special, beloved, unique, and a child of God, deserving of love and respect. This is what a meek or humble attitude look like. It means that you don't see your needs as being more important than the needs of those around you. When we are meek, we realize that everything and everyone is a gift and worthy of love and care. That's it for me this week, kids. See you next time.